And the derelict vehicles, as we're picking them up, we'll be starting in zone 23 and zone 22.
22 and 23, which is Kevon right now. We're dealing with Kevon right now, and we're going around the east, go right around and come round.
In the rural area,
In the rural area, yeah. Mm-hmm. So Kevon is the starting point.
And why we chose Kevon, we assessed the situation and we discovered that Kevon has the highest concentrate. It's one of the more problematic areas when it comes to derelict vehicles. And we said, let's tackle the hardest one first.
Right.
And then, not when we're tired, then we come like, oh my goodness. No. So we want to tackle that first. We have the energy, we have the enthusiasm, and we hope that we have the cooperation. I know we have the cooperation of the community.
Right.
But we do have some challenges when it comes to certain areas, especially with some of our esteemed mechanics.
Oh boy.
Yes. So
oh boy.
Yep. That's why we give them 7 days.
Yes.
Right.
Only 7 days, people. It's not like once ago when we come around and we give them. Because the problem is that like the vehicle is there for so long. Mm-hmm. And then when we go now to collect the vehicle, they ain't even seen the notice that we put on the vehicle. But they see when we come to collect the vehicle. And then they say, they realize now that they want the vehicle.
Or they need something from it, they need a part.
And they need, and all the time you sit there, years, months, and they ain't seen the notice. They recognize the notice, but they recognize when the wrecker come to check. Some of them even say that no notice was on them. When we go, we show them, here's the notice, because what we do, we try to open the doors of the old vehicles and we place it inside, so in case rain or anything, you don't get damage from them things.
So that's the matter of derelict vehicles, but we also are going to, as of October, be placing communal bins free of charge, of course, to facilitate residents in the cleanup of their communities. And this we did, as we said previously, we did do this in 2018. We had a cleanup campaign that ran, I believe, from September to about October.
I think.
Yeah.
November?
I think we went into November because the demand was so great. And I recall we placed just about 300 bins, and I believe it's 292 bins to be exact, throughout the nation, throughout the island. And people were still asking for bins. One of the things I would like to actually note is that, and I believe, Tyasha, you were there with me, when in several communities, after the cleanup campaign had finished, persons took the initiative to come together as communities to rent bins, not free of charge now, to actually rent bins to finish off cleaning
in doing that, they saw the importance of keeping their areas clean. And it's like a message we are sending out to the communities. We need to keep our areas clean. We need to keep our communities clean. We need to come together and get the work done.
Yes. So we were...
So
go ahead.
But just to clarify, the initiative... Is it explain a bit how it works? Is it that the solid waste, you guys put bins around the country and the people are allowed to then just go and put their stuff there free of cost and everything? Just let us know exactly how it works.
Yes. What will happen is the same way we are doing the initiative of the derelict vehicles, where we're starting from one zone, which is Kevon, and we're going around. We're going to do the same thing with the cleanup. So we're going to move from community to community, village to village, town to town, until we have covered the entire island. And based on our strategy and the strategy we've come up with, it should take us till mid-December to cover the entire island.
Okay.
And we don't really have a time frame for each area, but we're trying to make sure that the area is clean, and that when we come and we clean the area, we leave it clean.
Right.
Yes.
And we move on to the other area.
So I know some of us, our areas will be hit in October, and some of us, our areas will be hit in December. But those of us who are in the October time, utilize that time. So look at your appliances now. Look at what it is you want to get rid of for Christmas. We're not coming back in December.
We are having this show so that everybody could get ready, because we want that when we come out, everybody's okay, I'm here, here's my stuff, and we get the stuff in the bin so that we could move faster so everybody could get their turn.
Because the white goods and the illegal dumping, it's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we want to be able to prevent that.
Yeah.
At Solid Waste, we are trying to be we're trying to be proactive and not reactive. So we don't want to be reactive in giving people fines because they illegally dump. So we are coming to you. We are giving you bins free of charge for you to place those white goods in. You don't have to go and hide in the middle of the night to try and throw it over some valley or gully. Just when we
utilize the bins.
Yeah.
Utilize the bins.
We'll come to you.
Right.
So just wait on us a little bit and we will get to you. I just want to note, I believe with the derelict vehicles, as of from the time we did the cleanup campaign, because the cleanup campaign previously did also entail derelict vehicles, and we did go through, it was a continuous process, and I believe to date, if I'm not mistaken, we have actually collected over 625 derelict vehicles, and there is still a huge problem.
Because what happened when we moved to from that area, somebody just go back and chop maybe 4.
Right.
So.
They say, oh, space mech.
Yeah.
They make space.
And like you may hear a derelict vehicle, they can't when you find out the person from Sandy Point, like how did derelict
got from Sandy Point all the way to Kevon. Mind you, no matter I believe, no matter how you kind of dang it, if you're coming from Sandy Point to this direction, you have to pass the landfill.
Yeah.
Right? So you pass the landfill to go and take the vehicle to Kevon. So just, and if you're coming from the other direction, just pass Kevon.
Ain't much further. It's not much further.
No.
Not much further. But how about people even use this opportunity to, get rid of their own vehicles? I think this is something that people could take advantage of. I think a lot of times they might figure out by the cost to do whatever. Now you have the solid waste management corporation telling you, hey, we're getting rid of the vehicles. If you know you got a vehicle on your property, your land, use the opportunity, make a call, say, hey, there's a vehicle laying on these yards. Just tell them, go with it.
And because of the pandemic, we realized that most people wouldn't have the money to say, okay, I have the vehicle here, I have to spend this amount of money. We are helping everyone. We are helping each other.
Yeah. So guys, if you know you have a vehicle in the yard or, at a place somewhere that you have no use for anymore, give Solid Waste a call. Give them a call. They're helping you out.
Definitely. So in terms of the island-wide cleanup, we are going to ask individuals. We'll provide further information as to what bins we'll place where and what type of waste. That is one of the challenges we had last time. Persons complying with the type of waste to be placed in the various bins. And so we're asking for your cooperation and for your...
But Nama, you remember the last time we had our cleanup, beds was in the bins. The bins were overflowing till there was stuff was on the ground.
Around the bin.
Yeah. What happened is that if you go to throw your stuff in the bin and you realize the bin is full, you can wait, because once we realize we put a bin in that area and it need another one, we will put another one.
Right.
We are here to help.
We'll come, we'll pick it up, and we'll put down the other one immediately. And if you realize perhaps it's a few hours and we haven't gotten there, which it probably would not happen because we're going village to village as opposed to last time we were tackling several areas at the same time, you can give us a call. Just call us in the office and let us know, the bin in so-and-so area is full and we still have more waste to put in it. So can you guys come pick it up and perhaps provide another bin for us? So we are here, as Tayasha said, to help in this in this venture.
For sure. I think these are very important and timely initiatives, and sometimes it takes this little what do they call it? This, like, somebody needs to start it, and the fact that the Solid Management Corporation is putting the bins there, encouraging people to utilize them, I think we're going to see some of the communities really take advantage of the opportunity to clean up the villages. Sometimes people go and say, oh, I may like see that, but nobody really doing anything. Mm-hmm. But now all you got to do is walk down to the corner and throw the stuff in the bin. Like, I'm really hoping that the communities really take full advantage of this initiative that you guys are doing. It's very important, very timely.
Because it's needed. I think one of the things is that sometimes we just focus in our communities and not realize the vastness of the problem. Because the public is still saying we need this. Now imagine in 2018, that's not really that long ago, we put down close to 300 bins.
Wow.
And we removed, I believe, from 2019 to present, close over actually 10 million pounds of metal.
Wow.
In the island,
right.
And we still have a problem of vehicles.
Right.
We still have a problem of white goods. We still have a problem
illegal
of waste
dumping,
and illegal dumping. So it's a huge problem. Fortunately, at Solid Waste, because it's our business to know this, we are hearing the public. We're saying, let's get this sorted out. Let's keep our country clean and remove these hazards that could affect us all.
And to add to that, we also collect scrap metals. So when we come home, if we have scrap metals, we also collect.
Okay, so is it that someone could call and let you guys know that this is the situation?
Yeah.
Like, okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, any last words, Tyasha?
I will be speaking for the loaders, them who is out there. We are asking everyone, on the pickup day, we are asking everyone to make sure you put out your garbage on that day, not before or after. We're trying to make sure that every area is kept clean, and when we are in an area, we want to make sure everybody garbage is picked up. If there's any problem, you can always call the office because we are ready to assist and make sure that the country is kept clean. And maybe if you could work more with the loaders in helping, making sure that your bins are out. Sometimes we realize that we have elderly people in the areas and they go thus far to go into the yards, make sure the bins are out.
Right.
So we're asking for the community to cooperate with the guys, make sure that the garbage are collected properly.
While keeping them safe.
Yep.
So if you know that you need assistance, our loaders really and truly are not allowed on your property, but we do realize that they're the elderly and those who have physical challenges that will need some assistance. And so secure your waste properly so that our loaders are not exposed to anything, because with one man down, in terms of not necessarily getting the COVID, but having been exposed and has to quarantine.
Right, exactly.
It makes it even more challenging for a corporation that's already under a lot of strain. So we just ask for your continued support with that. Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that it's been all great conversation, all great information, and I'm really looking forward to the start of these initiatives. Again, very timely and very necessary. And I'm hoping that you guys get maximum cooperation from the community so that we could all do our part to keep the country clean.
Yes, we're definitely looking forward to your positive support. And we just want to thank you for your continued critique, support, and encouragement. I know this has been going on for a long time, but especially during the COVID pandemic, we really like to thank you, our listeners, and the general public for continuing to support us and to just give us feedback, constructive feedback that we can utilize. And don't hesitate to call us. And, we encourage everybody to come on board with this cleanup initiative. So let's get this country cleaned up. And don't forget to join us next week, right here on WIN FM 98.9. Next week, we'll actually be discussing, going and delving further into the hazard of derelict vehicles and the non-removal of derelict vehicles and white goods, how hazardous it can really be to our communities. And so don't forget to join us right here on 98.9. I'm your host, Nama. See you.
You love your little dear country. Try to do something positively. Be a watchdog for the environment. Don't leave everything to the government. We dump our garbage anywhere, lit on the streets everywhere. Our behavior is telling me that we really don't care. Take some pride in your country. Volunteer to clean where it's dirty. Tourism development needs a healthy environment. Whenever we litter, we threaten our survival. So those who engage in it should be treated like criminals. So don't be afraid at all if they call you an informer. Report those who endanger our future. So if you really love this blessed land, this situation demands attention. Think about the future generation. Do what we can to preserve this island. The laws for littering we must enforce. We have to let justice take its course. If you are a proud citizen, you have the right, you have a reason to save this land from destruction. You have an obligation to become involved in anything which affects this nation.
The Solid Waste Management Corporation, SWMC, is working hard each and every day to keep St. Kitts clean. Our primary mandate is to collect household waste while maintaining the engineer sanitary landfill in Connery. While it is the responsibility of businesses to see to it that their garbage is properly collected and disposed of at the landfill, the SWMC offers a commercial waste disposal service with our Nosy program. We also offer a bin rental service where persons can rent large bins to do community cleanups or other waste disposal activities. Additionally, our headquarters in Taylor's Range include state-of-the-art conference rooms for rental. So when you're hosting another event, consider using the SWMC conference facilities. We want to continue serving you by keeping our environment clean, because at the SWMC, waste matters. For more information, call our office at 465-9507.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Superior performance, captivating exterior, elevated comfort, exhilarating power, iconic features. Jeep is here. Available now at Horchfoot's Automotive.
Welcome back to Island Tea with Kevon and Azem featuring Jade, Gwynnigan and Johnson, the first and last of which aren't here today. But yeah guys, that was Talking Trash, and we're going to continue with more tea time because there's stuff happening in the nation that we need to discuss. And one of the things that had been going around was the fact that the police are now investigating into the death of a man who was found in Bath Village. And I'm reading from WINNMedia SKN's website. It says, police are investigating after a body was found Sunday evening in Bath Village, Nevis. Unfortunately, there isn't much details surrounding official details surrounding the death of the gentleman who has been identified as 39-year-old Wilson Dorr, otherwise known as Tasbo. But of course, the streets are talking. The streets are talking. I think I happened to be in Nevis on Sunday evening, and while I was there, the word started filtering around, and you know, there's things. But I think the main thing for me is, life's been lost, unfortunately, and I really want to extend condolences to the family and friends of Tasbo, and hopefully there's some answers, and there could be some closure to this situation. And again, if anyone has any information, please, no matter how small you think it is, how insignificant you think it is, please reach out to the authorities. You never know what the information you give might be able to uncover in relation to the investigation. So don't keep it to yourself. And there's ways and means to anonymously give information. So please. Now, we had been talking about corona, and it seems like it's impacted everything, and so we can't ever get away from the situation. But hold on, there's somebody who wants to join the conversation. Let's see what's on this person's mind. Good morning, caller. You're live on Island T. What's up?
Morning.
Yes, there's absolutely a lot of things that is going on in St. Kitts. And one of them is with the CPL. I don't know if you see the article or you're hearing the rumors going around about the only St. Kitts player that is on the Patriot team, Michael Louis, and the unfortunate situation with him, where they are accusing him of leaving some bubble that they have. Well, I went and I investigated. I went and I asked questions to the source, proper source. And I was told that the gentleman went down, or the youngster, let me put it this way because he's a youngster, I don't want to, because I got old people on the team. The youngster, after the match on Saturday, when they got back to the hotel, he was informed about a friend of his that died. And, because of the closeness of he and the guy, he took it in a way, he was hard hit. And the guy went down on the Marriott Beach, where all of the teams go to train, swim or run on the beach. He went go the thing. It is like you're frustrated because you hear this.
To clear his mind.
Hello?
To clear his mind, you're saying?
Right. And after coming back from his little training that he was doing, he said he had his mask on. Some guests from the hotel stopped him, asking him questions, about what team he play and stuff like that, and he spoke to the guests. Right? There was the information. There was a white gentleman looking over and one of the galleries at the Marriott, looking at him. The next morning, 7 o'clock, he was told that they have information that he was mingling with guests. They asked him to do a test. 9 o'clock the doctors then came, they asked him to do a test. The test came back negative. By 11 o'clock they called him for a meeting, and hear what the meeting is. you're no longer with the team. By 12 o'clock, we want you off the compound. That was the meeting. So you took a decision without even having a hearing with the guy, and then accusing him of leaving the hotel in a car. The guy mother, since he joined the Patriot teams at the Marriott, every single day the guy mom took his lunch to him, and he never once go out to his mom for the lunch. The mom leave it with the security at the front, and then that is how he get the lunch from the security, and he don't take it from the security. The security took it in close where he is, put it down, and then he get the lunch. If you're accusing the man of leaving this thing, and you say you have footage of it, how come you did not show him? Because if you're trying a case, if I go in Rams and Rams say that I take up something, Rams has to present evidence when we go to the court. So how come they have video with the guy? How come they did not present the evidence for the guy, showing him leaving the hotel? All they have in the thing is that he leave the bubble. Which part of the bubble that he left? Because I have a picture with Shimron Heckmeyer in front in the archway of the Marriott, hugging up a lady who appears to be a Guyanese lady. No mask on. The lady doesn't have any mask on. Shimron Heckmeyer. Carlos Brathwaite came from England on a flight with people who were tested positive. And within 4 days of he coming from England, he was in Warner Park playing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the truth about it is, when you sign on to these things, a lot of times they have overreaching powers in terms of how they operate and the decisions they make. If the guy in question, has issues with the way things were handled, I'm pretty sure he would be dealing with them as it relates to that. But I mean, you seem to have a lot more information than I do, but I don't know if we all have all the information. So I mean, we just have to trust in their process. Or if he does not, perhaps he has.
You cannot trust in the process because the process is corrupt.
Yeah, but I think that he would be the one who is feeling the effects of that corruption. Correct. So the hope is that he'd be taking whatever course is available to him.
But sometimes we need people to come out and talk for us too,
Well, perhaps, but again,
because
I don't know.
We heard the Bible story that where the Lord used Moses to lead the children them out of Israel.
Yeah.
But then Moses stepped back to the Lord and said he can't talk.
Well,
so the Lord present somebody else to talk for him.
I'm happy you're doing the Lord's work, man. I'm happy you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, but I doing St. Kitts cricketers' work because the St. Kitts Cricket Association, up to now you ain't hear nothing from them about it.
Right. So
and this team is called St. Kitts Navy's Patriot team. But yet the only Kittishan on it, he's the only person who did wrong.
I think that's how franchises work, so.
I know how franchise work.
Right. So and a lot of people and the Lakers from LA.
The players 10 Trinidadian on the team.
Yeah,
Jamaica got 8, 10, and some people on the team.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that we must put on 8 Kittisans. But you want to tell me the young man the young man just invest over $1,000 in gears for the tournament.
Yeah.
And you want to tell me that anybody who going to invest so much money in something got to be dedicated people, got to be honest people. And you want to tell me you're going to go do stupidness?
Well, I don't know if anybody's questioning his dedication. I think the main thing for me is that the whole situation is unfortunate. It's unfortunate that he's no longer part of the team, and it's also unfortunate that he had to deal with such traumatic information while he's in the middle of this opportunity. I think that is terrible. So hopefully he's able to overcome everything that he's dealing with, including the loss of a close friend. I think
he can overcome it by himself.
No. I don't think anybody is suggesting that.
And next thing too, the Patriot management, the management of the Patriot wasn't the one who accused him, So then if the management of the Patriots did not accuse him, they find no fault with him, how the organizers finding fault with the man?
Well, again, I don't know the process. I don't know how things work.
I understand that.
Yeah, so you seem to be intimately knowledgeable with the facts. So, I mean, perhaps you and the fellow could have a conversation about how we move forward and get some.
Of course, we think we're doing that.
Yeah, man. Well, we look forward to hearing exactly what come out of those conversations.
We need to get it on the ears because the St. Kitts Cricket Association and the Minister of Sports and the Director of Sports, they need to get involved in this situation, find out what is going on. If they say they have video on the man, bring it forward.
Okay.
Before we had to get a lawyer to get them to bring it forward willingly.
Well, I mean, if that is what's necessary, then that might be necessary. But again,
you're messing up the man career.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Like I said, it's unfortunate, the entire situation. I'm hoping that he's doing okay.
I understand that you hear me, and I appreciate.
Yeah.
I appreciate the airtime you're giving me too.
Yeah, man, for sure. Yeah. But thanks a lot, man. Yeah. Well, you know, I think the situation. I think we could all sympathize with the situation of the cricketer, and I know a lot of us would have been eagerly waiting to see him continue his performance at the CPL. At the CPL, it's just unfortunate. I wouldn't want to. And I've been in situations where I've had co-workers. You know, I drive around. I tour around, and sometimes you're overseas and you get bad news from back home. I see how that really affects your ability to perform, it affects your decision making, and I'm just really hoping that he is doing okay, and dealing with the traumatic information that he would have received while, you know, being a part of the CPL. Yeah, it's rough all around. It's rough all around. But yeah, guys, before the caller came in, I was actually about to speak about something to do with the coronavirus and the fact that there's been a new variant detected. Now, this is what viruses do, guys. Viruses mutate. It's a constant battle where they're trying to become as efficient in killing us. Like, let's just be honest with it. Like, they're constantly mutating and trying to get rid of us. And so there's a new one there's a new mutation or a new variant that's been detected in South Africa. And guys, it reads, South African scientists have detected a new coronavirus variant with multiple mutations, but are yet to establish whether it is more contagious or able to overcome the immunity provided by vaccines or prior infections. Wow. The new variant, known as C.1.2, was first detected in May and has now spread to most South African provinces and to 7 other countries in Africa, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. According to research, which is yet to be peer-reviewed, it contains many mutations associated with other variants with increased transmissibility and reduced sensitivity to neutralizing antibodies, but they occur in a different mix, and scientists are not yet sure how they affect the behavior of the virus. Laboratory tests are underway to establish how well the variant is neutralized by antibodies. South Africa, of course, was the first nation to detect the beta variant, one of only 4 labeled of concern by the World Health Organization. Beta is believed to spread more easily than the original version of the coronavirus that causes COVID-19, and there is evidence vaccines work less well against it, leading some countries to restrict travel to and from South Africa. Yeah. Life goes on. Yes, indeed. Life goes on. Yes. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do? I think once we're in a situation where the virus is constantly in rotation and spreading and moving amongst us, we are going to have more variants. We're gonna have more mutations, and one could only hope that these new mutations aren't as deadly, aren't as transmissible. But hey, is that how viruses work? Who knows? We actually have somebody trying to join the conversation. Caller, good morning, live on Island T. Lost that caller. Let's see if we get this one. Caller, good morning, live on Island T. What's up?
Morning, how are you?
Morning, I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Nice.
Nice to know that you're doing well.
Yeah, man.
You're the only one in?
Yes, I'm I've been termed the Lone Ranger this morning.
So we are the other two. They're gone flying.
Probably gallivanting. Probably gallivanting, yeah. Listening to Quelbe somewhere.
Okay. Two things, and I hope I don't stay very long. One, that caller concerning the youthster, the youngster.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you use the word unfortunate more than once. And it is very unfortunate. I join you too, but I will also add that if what was said is the truth, no doubt that there is some sort of merit to it. I think it is very, very unfortunate that from a country's position that nothing is really done, and I don't think anything is done. I stand to be corrected. And if something is done, no problem, I apologize. That nothing is done, seemingly, to clarify or to clear up what has happened. And look at where this happened. It's happening right here, which is the home base for the Patriots team. We don't really have a team per se, where we have 5, 6, 7 cricketers, right, to play for our team or to even spread them out to other teams. And if we have one person from this country, don't you think that we should do everything in our power to get to the bottom of it? Where are the representatives? Where are the parliamentarians? Where are the ministers of government? Right? It is so stark naked to show how we really despise our very own. Who's there at that level to stand up for him? And again, if that is what has happened, why not provide the evidence?
There's a lot of ifs.
Why?
There's a lot of ifs here, bye.
I mean, why?
There's a lot of ifs.
You think this could have happened in Jamaica?
I
do something to find out, get to the bottom of this, and if the evidence points that this guy is the one who is at fault, fair enough. Fair enough. Because I heard the caller talk about the youngster. Now, if this had happened to any one of the older ones, would they have done it too?
So
if this had happened to somebody from one of the larger islands, would they have done this?
So what you're saying is, if what was said is a true representation of what was happening, then more should be done. Correct?
Of course.
Yeah, but also bear in mind that that's a huge if. I don't know how much of the information any one of us knows. So I don't even know what conversations would not have happened. So I mean, there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot of ifs happening right now, based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
So be careful with that.
Yes, I understand. What you're saying. We are going to go back in history too, right? We have talent here in cricket and so on. Do they really want the players from what they call the so-called small islands? You tell me, because there is a history to a lot of these things, and it goes back. Do they really wanted him on the team? There are a lot of ifs we're saying, but we have to uncover these things to and talk about them. But what I am saying, put all of the ifs aside. This is the country. We should be proud to know that we have a young man representing the country, because I personally have a problem when we're talking about patriots, because I was one of the persons who spoke out in the beginning How could we have a Patriot team and we are so proud of the team and we don't have anybody on it? And this was since under the former administration. I was one who was very vocal. When you hear people talking about jumping up, yeah, Patriots, but there's nobody on the team. And we were saying, since they know that the games were coming and they were fixing the park, we should have already worked on some of our men here and prepare them. They might not have been ready for the first games that they had, right? But somewhere along the line, we should have been ready. But we have won, whether good or bad. He's tops or not. We should be proud of that, and we should get to the bottom of that. That's all I am saying. And if we don't do anything, it only shows how we despise one another. And we really don't want to see each other progress. And I'm talking about from the level where the persons can do something. Because the most that some citizens can do is talk. And this doesn't sound good. And whether the guy is wrong or right, we should have enough pride in our country. Tomorrow begins September, our Independence Month. What is this saying? Anyways, I'm going to come off of that because that is very disheartening. This is not the first time I heard the caller talk about it.
Well,
okay?
Yeah.
And you have, I think Janelle Powell is part of it and whatsoever. Get some persons and find out about it, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, again, I don't know if any of these conversations would have happened, but I understand based on what you're saying, where we should have some pride, and people are concerned, and people want to know exactly what happened. So perhaps as the facts of the case come out, and who did what, and who said what, and who spoke to who, perhaps when all that comes out, then you'd have some satisfaction. Hopefully that is what happens.
Yes,
hopefully.
If this was somebody from Guyana, Trinidad, Jamaica, you think this would have gone down so easy in their own country and the home base of that team? Anyways, let's move on because I don't want to take up much more time. In terms of what you just read, in the beginning, I have also said that I believe the vaccine is the COVID. I mean, I was deemed as somebody who, talking foolishness.
Right, okay. Before you go on to what people said about what you said, I just trying to understand what your position was. You're saying that the vaccine is the COVID.
That's what I said.
Right. So you're saying that
based on what I believed.
So the vaccine. So before they announced the vaccine, you believe that the vaccine existed, and the vaccine is. So the vaccine is not a vaccine. The vaccine is actually the COVID, and so they're just giving more of the COVID that they've given before.
Okay. You think these things here happen overnight?
No, I'm trying to understand your position.
No, I'm not really asking you that question. I mean, it's like a question, but it's put in it's a statement put in a question form. If anything goes like that.
No, but I'm trying to understand your position. Because when you say the vaccine is the COVID, it's just a bit confusing to me. So I'm just trying to understand where you're coming from, so I can follow you as we go forward.
I'm going to explain to you.
Okay,
going to explain to you. These things, to me, didn't happen overnight. These were in the making years ago.
Okay.
They have their dates and their years appointed when they will launch, when this thing will be launched, and that will be launched. Okay? You see all of this confusion that they're putting out there now to put in people's mind? This is all planned to me. You cannot get anything concrete. Today you're told something, tomorrow it changes. And it shows everybody in a whole confusion. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to accept. People is getting fed up. People is stressed out. People turning gray. They don't know what to think. And in a lot of cases, what they are saying, you're not seeing any reality on the ground. The reason why I'm going to say the vaccine is the COVID, follow me clearly. And like I say, it is just statements and questions that we can put out there. Nobody bash us. And that's why you see we're not moving anywhere. We're quick to listen, right? But we don't try to understand. And then persons just come up and they just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. And it doesn't make any sense to say people are just listening to defend the party. This have nothing to do with no political party. This is about the survival of man. But let me go on. We had a whole year, which was 2020, and they said that the COVID was around. You heard how people, they say, were dying in America. Well, that them deaths there is something else, because it is a known fact that a lot of those deaths have nothing to do with COVID. And most of those people who dying are black people. Some try to explain it down here and say, oh, socio-economic conditions. Well, I don't think black people are more poorer than a lot of people in America. But anyway, that is a different topic. We had a whole year, and they said that the COVID was around. We were told even here in our country that those who come in, who have the COVID, are those who came in, but they were in quarantine and they were doing fine, and the recovery rate actually is very high. Now, as soon as the vaccine come on the scene and persons start getting that substance in their body, you now start to hear about variants. Now, what is it? Is it really a pandemic out there, or this is a substance that they are pushing, that they are using under the cover of a disease that they say have flu and cold-like symptoms? You realize all of a sudden flu and cold and high fever and all of them become obsolete? You realize like nothing like that happening now? Because now all of that is the COVID. How is it you're going to tell me when COVID was there, before the vaccine, we never had any mutation? We never have any variation. And now after the vaccine, you're having all sorts of these things here popping up. So what conclusion should people draw? Doesn't it sound like, or seem like,
I think
the substance is the one that is responsible for causing these variations in the body? Doesn't it seem like now the vaccinated are the super spreaders? Because I heard a doctor, out of Jamaica on one of these programs that said that even the vaccinated, they could be infectious, but they don't show any symptoms. So they could be what they call asymptomatic. So you see the problem? So when we were going around causing all sorts of division and hatred among our people about unvaccinated this and unvaccinated that, it seems like the vaccinated is the danger.
But there were asymptomatic people prior to the vaccine as well. But I think what I'm hearing from you, is that you are looking at the correlation between events and drawing it to be a causation. And I could understand why that is the case. That is human nature. I understand what you're saying. But I do believe that there's a difference between those things. There's a difference between correlation and causation. And which side of the fence you land on, that's fine. But I do believe that there's a difference there. And I do believe that there's also a lot of different variables that could impact the way things happen. Right? I mean, even here, for instance, people would say, now that we have the vaccine, we have all these cases, right? But I think to say that and not recognize the change in our situation, where, for instance, we had a community spread, we now have people entering. We having cruise ships coming in, even though it's just a few, one or two coming in. We no longer have mandatory quarantine at the facility. You could quarantine at home. So I think if you just go and say, well, should the vaccine them come, I think that's ignoring some of the other variables that could possibly play a role in the situation that we're having. But I understand your position. I understand
you. I understand you, right? But somebody gonna have to explain to me a whole year when the COVID was said to be all over the place. Nobody heard anything about variations.
But do you believe that virus? Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that you believe COVID exists? I don't think we're not questioning that. You believe that there's something called COVID, where it comes from? You're not sure.
What is COVID? Because they told me that whatever is outside there is flu. It has flu and cold-like symptoms.
That's what I'm asking. I think the question I was trying to get to is: do you believe that COVID is a virus? Do you believe it's a virus? Whether it is man-made, whether it's in a syringe, do you believe that it's a virus?
I will tell you this much. Apparently, something is out there. Whatever it is, I don't know. I am no scientist. We have none down here.
Okay.
And I will not jump on any bandwagon.
Okay, so that is my thing. So my thing is this. If it is a virus, right, because you say you're not sure what it is. But if it is a virus, then that is what viruses do. Viruses mutate.
Yes, but what I am saying, how is it in 2020, a whole year before the vaccine, we did not hear about any mutation? There was none. You understand me? There was none. So I am saying, I'm wondering what is really happening. If this is all about mass deception, the people are under mass deception, and this is about mind control, manipulation, and all these kind of things, or there is an objective when it comes to this vaccine that as many people on the earth should get it in their arms for whatever reason, and to make it, for persons to get it, you have to come up with a scenario that will strike fear in people for them to run and take it. Who said that there is not an ulterior motive where this thing is concerned? And they have politicians all over the globe in certain countries running in fear and pushing this and pushing that and making them believe this and making them believe that. And some of them is like they're between a rock and a hard place. So they have to say, well, the lives of the people or not the economy. And this kind of thing. So that's why you see some politicians behave the way they behave, that even if in front of the face they realize something is not going right, they still have to push because of this ticklish situation they have been placed in. Listen.
Well, what I'm glad about is that you are able to see through all this mess and all this what would you call it? This plot, this ploy. Right. So I'm glad that you're able to see through it, and then you're able to keep yourself and your people safe, man. I appreciate that. Because
there are persons who have taken the vaccine right now here, and they're very upset because what they were told in the beginning, and so they realize that it is not happening. Right. They're very, very upset. For example, they're told, take the vaccine to protect the elderly people and children. And now there's a different twist to all of these sort of things. Children, now, remember in the beginning they were saying that their children cannot get this thing? And I was one who said at the very beginning, how is it you could have an illness out there, a disease out there, a respiratory disease, they said that is highly contagious. And you're going to tell me that only older people can get it and not children? I said that didn't make any sense.
The disease? Well, I don't know. Yes. I don't know about that. I don't know that. But
I'm telling you.
But on a whole different note, what's your favorite genre of like media? Like, do you read or do you watch movies? What you consume?
What I consume?
Like you read a lot of books. You like newspapers. What you into?
Well, I like excellent, mature discussion. Excellent, mature discussion. I am not concerned about who you back from, who you don't back.
No. What I'm saying is,
I'm coming.
You watch movies? Do you watch?
Because you learn a lot from them. Who you like from who you don't like. As long as it is mature, excellent conversation or discussion, I like that.
So you like talk shows and that kind of thing. So you're more into talk shows and stuff like that.
Yes. But yes, and as much as we can learn from other people and so on, some of the contributions, they turn me off. Because it doesn't make, it's not adding anything of substance or worth. You can see that they're too biased in my, I don't care who you back from, who you back. Let the issue be the issue and tackle the issue as should be. I don't want to hear biasness and those unbalanced views and so on. It turns me off.
Yeah.
All right.
I think the thing is always interesting that a lot of how we bring a lot of ourselves to what we consume, right? Like if I read a book at age 11 and I read it again today, I would get different things from the book. So we bring a lot of what we ingest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we bring a lot of how we take it to the table. So I think sometimes when we call things bias, sometimes it's really a matter of our perspective. Correct? You could agree with that?
No.
No? Okay.
There is a difference.
Mm.
I'm talking about some type of contribution
Oh, okay.
that comes
Okay.
from some people. You know clearly that it is biasness,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
especially along the political line. You know it is biasness. And
Right.
now you know, today it is right because it favors them. And this same thing that is right for them was wrong yesterday because it never favored them. It is
Right.
biasness.
Well,
And
Carla,
it's kind of thing that I don't like.
I would have loved to have some more mature discussion with you, but we actually have our guest in the studio with us, so we're gonna have to
That's okay.
move
okay.
forward.
And thank you for really allowing me to babble my mouth and talk
Well,
nonsensicalities.
I hear by myself, so I hear by myself, so you saved me a lot of trouble.
All right.
All right, well, take care.
Yes, you take care too.
All right.
All right.
Well, guys, I see you guys trying to get in on the calls, but we actually have some very special guests in the studio with us. I'm really looking forward to this conversation, but we're gonna take a short break, and we're gonna be right back with more Island Tea right here on WINNMedia SKN. Stay locked, stay tuned.
Staying healthy has taken on a whole new meaning these days. So we ask, why do you put your health first?
As a business professional, I need to make the most out of my work days.
I'm a teacher and I want to be there for my students.
In sports, I have to be in top form for my team.
Motherhood, I just got to keep up with my kids.
Because my patients rely on me to be at my best.
Staying healthy is important for many of us, and Hanley Orange makes it easy. Just one 1,000 milligram tablet of vitamin C gives your immune system a flavorful boost, leaving you protected and feeling good for the day ahead. Hanley Orange Vitamin C. Just pop the cap, drop it in water, let it fizz, and enjoy. Part of the Hanley Orange family.
Hey kids, drink healthy!
Reduce sugar chubby with the same great taste. Lots of magic fruity flavors, drink the more healthy way.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Be active, be healthy, drink lots of chubby. Kicking football, playing cricket, having fun in the sun.
It's chubby.
Reduced sugar chubby keeps you cool and refreshed.
It tastes so yummy, chubby, chubby.
25% less sugar chubby. Jumping rope, running races, have fun.
It tastes so yummy, chubby.
Drink the more healthy way.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Island Tea with Kevon and Azem. And in the studio, we have some very special guests, close friends of mine, people I'm really happy to get to talk to this morning. But I'm gonna have them introduce themselves and tell you who they're representing. So, guys.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nicholas Dupre. I'm the Commodore of the St. Kitts Yacht Club and one of the lead instructors.
Good morning, everybody in Radio Land. My name is Nikhil Rogers. I'm the secretary of the St. Kitts Yacht Club, and I'm also an instructor at the Yacht Club as well.
Hello, good morning. My name is Vanessa Saddam. I'm one of the sailors of the Yacht Club. Good morning, everybody. My name is Lennon Gilbert, and I'm one of the sailors at the St. Kitts Yacht Club.
Yeah, so guys, we have some members of the St. Kitts Yacht Club with us this morning, and we have again instructors as well as some young sailors here with us. But Nick, as the guy in charge, I know you guys really take part in some of the in some different activities. What are some of the main activities of the St. Kitts Yacht Club for those of the people who may not know exactly what the St. Kitts Yacht Club is and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, although the name is the St. Kitts Yacht Club, it's a lot of what we do is actually small boat sailing called dinghy sailing. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot about learning to swim and learning to sail. We also have some avenues for competition and sort of other training opportunities, anything to do with sailing and stuff underwater. We try to encompass all of these types of things.
Well, I mean, you said anything to do with sailing and stuff on the water, and I'm pretty sure one of the main things when they talk about water and being adept at sea is swimming. Is that part of what you guys do? You guys do swimming classes and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, our main focus was sailing, but we realized that there's a big need for swimming in St. Kitts, and so we've sort of expanded the program. So there's a swimming program and sailing program that run side by side. So we do different programs throughout the year. We actually just finished 5 weeks of sailing camps and aquatic outreach camps. So this was the sailing, we had to have smaller numbers now due to COVID. So this was taking about 20 kids for a sailing program, Monday to Friday. We did two weeks in St. Kitts and then 2 weeks in Nevis. And then we did another week of aquatics camp, which is more of a taster to introduce newcomers. So it was more like swimming, sailing, beach games, and some marine biology and conservation stuff. But most of the time throughout the year, we run our program on Saturday afternoons from 2 to 5, where we have sailors and swimmers learning side by side at Frigate Bay Beach on the Strip. And this can be little kids from 5 years old learning in little boats that are the size of a bathtub, and the adult program as well.
So let me get this right. So you guys had these aquatic camps, and there's swimming, sailing, all sorts of things to do with the sea, and some of the boats that some of the vessels that you guys were using are the size of bathtubs, you're saying?
Yep, basically, the kids tub. Kids boats.
Kids tub. Okay.
The kids boats are called Optimist dinghies, and they basically shape almost like a tub, and it's a very basic design just to make a cheap boat that kids could get involved in sailing at an early age, and it doesn't cost too much for clubs or individuals to purchase.
And it's also a very big class, so if you wanted to go to the other side of the world, you went to America and you jumped in, and a kid wanted to jump into a boat, it would be the same boat. So
right, it's a standardized boat. So there's actually a class global. It's an international Optimist dinghy class all around the world. So the kids here in St. Kitts who learn to sail in the Optimist, which is the tub, aka the tub boat, right. They could go and compete in Antigua, in St. Martin, in Martinique, in Europe, in New Zealand, in the same class.
So let's talk a bit about that then. The fact that there is opportunity to compete for persons who wanted to take this even further, and you guys are providing an avenue for people to learn about sailing and to actually get further in the sport of sailing. Correct?
Right.
What are some of the opportunities, or what some of the competitions that some of the members of the yacht club, or even people who have passed through your ranks, are able to compete in?
Well, this last weekend we actually had our national dinghy championship. So Anesta and Lion were both some of our sailors. Okay. So perhaps they may want to talk about their experience racing this weekend in the regatta we had here.
So how you guys enjoyed the competition this past weekend?
It was fun, actually. It was challenging at most, but overall it was fun. But it wouldn't be complete without our crew, what's your name? Malroy and Emily. It was really, really fun. Come back sore and sunburned, but it was fun overall.
So is it that you have several teams and you guys all compete in a regatta? Did you guys place? How did you guys do?
Well, me and Malroy came first, and Emily and Lion came second.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So both of them competed in a class that's called the RS Fever class, and it's a two-handed sailboat with 2 sails, a jib and a mainsail. So they both were involved in that, and right now on Ireland we only have 2 of those boats, 2 of those dinghies, the RS Fevers. So it was only 2 boats competing, and they were in both of them. We do hope and aspire to acquire more of the RS Fevers in future to build a bigger class locally, so we can have more competition and have more sailors go overseas to compete.
Yeah, I mean it's so interesting that we have such young people. If you guys don't mind, you want to tell us your ages?
I'm 15.
And I'm 14.
See, young people already involved in sailing, and I think that's amazing. That's amazing. How long have you guys been sailing?
Since last year, we went to the Nevis camp to learn, and then we continue in St. Kitts.
Awesome. So we have local regattas, and this is all put on by you guys, the St. Kitts Yacht Club. You guys were the organizers?
Go ahead.
Well, it's a combination. Luckily in sailing, it's easier to be federal. Some of our sailors go backwards and forwards between St. Kitts and Nevis in our sailboats. So it's actually, this year it was hosted in the Nevis Center, which is the Nevis Aquatic and Sailing Center. And they're our partner organization in Nevis. And together we make up the St. Kitts Nevis Sailing Association. So it alternates each year. But this year it was in Nevis, in the channel. And there was 4 classes. There was the Optimist class, the very small boats, and then there was the Fever class, which is a double-handed that these guys were sailing. Then we had the Laser class, which is actually an Olympic class. And then we had Hobie Cats, which was a little bit more of a fun class, just to get people on the water.
Okay. And have you guys, between the association and the 2 groups, have you guys been seeing people going out and competing in some of the other regattas and some of the other competitions regionally?
Yeah, we had a couple of kids went up to St. Martin and Antigua. I think it was 2019, kind of last 2020 with all the COVID stuff. But we had a couple of kids went up to St. Martin and Antigua. And the regattas in St. Martin are very serious. It's a qualifier where if you do well, you can go to a world championship. So the standard is very high. There's Antiguans coming down there who are aspiring to go to the Olympics. So the idea of our regatta here is to try and get people ready for if they wanted to do a very serious regatta. It wouldn't be a complete shock to the system because it's long days sailing all day. Miles and miles upwind and downwind. So.
Bro, I have had the pleasure of witnessing on several occasions the Heineken Regatta in St. Martin, and it's serious, bro. Like, people come from all over the world. I've met people from as far as Asia in St. Martin. So it's obvious to me that there's a big sailing community, a lot of sailors, and right here in the region, it's a serious thing. So I'm really happy to see that we have people from here who are now, even taking it more serious and moving out and doing that. But what for somebody's asking about the swimming and the programs. When are those programs available? When are those classes available?
So our swimming program runs the same time as our sailing program. So that's 2 to 5 o'clock on Saturdays. There's other swimming programs too. I think we have more demand than we can supply for swimming, so we're just trying to all work together. We partner with the Swimming Association, which is more based in Nevis. There's also a St. Kitts branch. They just put in some floating rafts at Timothy Beach Resort, I think it is, so they could have that competition side. But if they want to get in touch with us, if we can't accommodate them on Saturday afternoon, there's other swimming programs that we could try and put them in touch with as well. And whilst we're on that topic, that reminds me, the Swimming Association is also holding a swimming instructor program through FINA, which is like the FIFA of swimming.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So if there's anybody out there who wants to become a swimming instructor, please do reach out to us, and we'll put you in touch with the people who are running the training program.
All right, well, just so persons know how to reach out to you, what's the best way? Is it social media? Is it telephone number? What's the best way to get in contact with the St. Kitts Yacht Club?
Well, you could go through email, stkitsyachtclub@gmail.com. You could also contact us on Facebook messages, and
on the website.
On the website. Well, the website will also have the different contact points.
Okay, awesome. Because I know that you guys have, even though you just had an event this past weekend, there's actually some other stuff upcoming for the rest of the year. You guys wanna mention some of what's happening?
Okay, so as we just concluded the summer camp activities, we're going to restart the Saturday afternoon. So we're going to do a big push on that. Other things we have coming up is on the 11th of September, there's this event called the Bats Bash, where a sailor died during the America's Cup. Yeah. And now there's a big worldwide fundraiser where basically every club does their own little race in their own little country, well, wherever they are, and they pool all of the results of all of the sailors around the world. So it's a fun way to compare yourself to sailors across the world. Normally we would try to go to Antigua for the Caribbean Dinghy Championship, and this year the Caribbean Dinghy Championship chose this Bats Bash as a way to have so we are going to compete within the Caribbean by doing our own regattas and recording our own times and submitting them.
Okay.
So that's going to be...
And that's when this is on September 11th, right?
Yeah, that's the weekend after next. We also, on the 9th of October, we have Women's Sailing Day, where we'll try to focus on encouraging and supporting women getting into the sport of sailing. Later on in the year, on the 14th of November, we have the Booby Island Regatta. So this is a regatta that was more aimed at big boats, what we call keel boats, like small sailing yachts. As we don't really have that many of those in St. Kitts, we've also... And Nevis. St. Kitts and Nevis. It's based in Nevis again, this one. It's also open to Hobie cats, and we're also... kiteboarding is actually going to be an Olympic class of sailing in the next Olympic Games.
Oh, nice.
So we're also trying to encourage kiteboarders to come out and race. So there's going to be kiteboarders, yachts, and Hobie cats.
So persons who are listening on the radio right now, if you have any small inkling of an interest in sailing, whether you're in Nevis or St. Kitts, reach out to the clubs in each island. As in St. Kitts, the club is located at Frigate Bay Strip. In Nevis, the center is located at Owali Beach. And, sign up for the Saturday, Sunday classes and learn to sail a Hobie cat, which is a very easy and laid-back and fun boat to start sailing on, so that you could actually participate in the Booby Island Regatta. It's a real fun activity, and it really... there's a lot of fear when it comes to the water or the ocean here in St. Kitts and Nevis, I personally believe. And lots of the fears are not really truly justified. And when you get out on the water on a Hobie or any boat, any yacht for that instance, the fears basically start to dwindle and dissolve away, and you start to see the opportunity that the ocean and sailing brings to anyone, especially us who live literally on an island surrounded by water, that you could drive 30 minutes to get anywhere.
Right.
So it's like we're not limited by the land, and because the water is an extension of our transportation, and that's something that I don't think we see here on St. Kitts and Nevis as much. Funny thing is when you look at, it was one St. Kitts, Nevis, and Anguilla.
Right.
Anguilla is completely different culture when it comes to boating or being on the water compared to us.
Everything revolves around sailing.
Right,
like
they have sailboat racing, but they actually build the yachts there, locally built on Anguilla. And they have powerboat, the poker run. It's a big thing in Anguilla.
Bro.
They just had it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, even down to how they give directions. They use like nautical language.
Right.
Like it's so interesting to me, like the difference in the approach and the feeling towards sailing and the sea.
Right.
Like everything is west of here and east of there and stuff. Like you tell half the people here don't even know where North is.
Right. So everybody listening, reach out to the clubs. The St. Kitts Yacht Club, we based at Frigate Bay right now, Frigate Bay Strip. The container just above, what you call it? It was Dulce and Cabana where they had the container just above there. That's where we base, where we store our stuff. And you see the Hobies and the sailboats on the sand just next to Islands. By Buddies, right. And just reach out to us. We're going to be there on Saturdays from like 1 till about 6. The instructors will be there early, at least an hour early and an hour later.
So it's like Frigate Bay. Frigate Bay is where you come and...
Right. And if you're interested, if you're curious and you don't really want to show the interest, just come to Frigate Bay on Saturday afternoon and you could observe us giving instructions and sailing on the water. It's like, I say, most of the fears that we've built up as a culture, as a nation, they're not really justified.
Well, let me ask you this then. In your view, and I'd like to hear from everyone, Ryan and Esther, everyone, why is it important for us here to really get in touch with the sea and the ocean and sailing? What are some of the benefits? Why is it so important?
Help me to be fit at least, and me really fit of the water no more, especially like out in the channel and so. Like I just get so anxious when I'm out there, but like once Nick them there and everything, I just and I know what I'm doing, so it's alright, to be honest. So.
All right.
It's a lie.
Yeah, right. What's up? What do you think is important for people? Encourage some people to come out and start sailing.
Well, to lose the fear of the water. You can't really see why you're really afraid of the water like that. God, ain't like nothing gonna really come with the water to attack.
What you enjoy about sailing? What are some of the things you look forward to?
Capsizing.
Capsizing is fun,
that's the weirdest thing. I actually did I think 2019 we had a sailing camp, and I vlogged it basically, and so you could go on YouTube and look for, I think I labeled it best sailing camp ever, something like that.
Right.
And I did a little interview with the kids at the end of the camp, and majority of the kids said they love capsizing, and I don't understand why.
But that proves that the fear of the water isn't there.
Right. It's diminished.
It's fun. And like you were saying, this is something that totally surrounds us. We have to. We can't be surrounded by this thing that we just fear so much.
Right.
And it's so important to our travel, to our economics, to everything.
Right.
And it's just something fun.
And just imagine instead of jumping, well, some people may not be think this way, but just imagine summer vacation comes about, and instead of jumping on a Liat to go to let's say Martinique, you want to go Martinique for your summer vacation, you just charter a yacht and you sail down there with your family and you sleep on the yacht.
Bro, I have done this. I've like from Anguilla to some other islands. It's a different experience.
It's
a different experience. I wish more people would get involved in yachting and sailing. It's and to be honest, especially right now, plane travel is more of a hassle than anything else.
True.
Sailing is just so relaxing, so fun. And it really allows you to get closer to the people who you experience it with.
Right, and then the next beautiful thing is that sometimes life gets chaotic and confusing and just jumbled up. When you're on the water and it's just the elements, the waves, the wind, it really resets you.
Right.
It really resets you. So that's another reason for anybody looking just for that. Where to reset, don't go to the bottle.
Stress relief.
Don't go for, the toxic things in life to try to get where you get addicted to and go down the wrong path or being unhealthy. Going on the water, getting some vitamin D from the sun, getting some salt, splash on your skin, and just having that tranquility of the elements around you and appreciating life. Because it really humbles you when you're underwater. It really brings you back to, who you are and what we are in life.
It's a positive form of escapism. That's what you're saying.
Right.
And the other thing is you don't realize all these things that you are learning. And a lot of the skill sets that we are learning could lead you to employment prospects too. There's a lot of opportunity on the catamarans and stuff like that, or with Christoph Harbour, where you could eventually get yourself a job on a big yacht. I mean, we just had the below deck people came here.
Yeah.
You could have, if you imagine if you got a job as a crew on one of those boats.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that would be the ideal boat job, but
it's an opportunity.
There's lots of opportunities,
right.
So.
All right. So, guys.
But before you go, we kind of cut off Nick when he was giving you the list of events. So we reached to the Booby and Regatta, right. And that would be in November.
Yeah. And so the other regattas, we also try to encourage swimming by giving people a goal. So we have the Peninsula Swim on 28th November. So if you're a good swimmer, start training. We're going to swim from White House Bay down to Friars Bay, which is 1.9 miles, and then at Shipwreck.
Oh, too easy.
Easy peasy, downwind, flat water, nice. You just lay on your back and float.
I'll watch from the peninsula.
And then in Christmas, we're going to have another regatta. And we're going to have the Splash Flotilla. So we'll have a sailing race on the Saturday. And on the Sunday is just a day for anybody with any boat, powerboat, sailboat, whatever. Just come together and we just have a big raft up whether you think it's Nevis. And we just get together at Majors Bay and have a little end of year.
A splash.
A little splash.
Yeah, a little splash.
And there's also one reason for the event is to encourage many boaters who took their boats out of the water for the hurricane season to splash back in.
Right, definitely. So there's so much to look forward to right here in St. Kitts Nevis as it relates to sailing and everything to do with the water. I mean, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come and just inform us of all this that's going on. A lot of times, we kind of in our own little bubbles and we don't recognize that there's all this happening. And the funny thing about it is that I've seen multiple boat races in Anguilla and in St. Martin, and I've hardly ever watched any here. So I'm really gonna have to come out and look at and enjoy some of the regattas that you guys mentioned.
Yeah, so we're really trying to grow it. I say we're building, and also I spoke briefly on the benefits for adults, but for kids, parents who have kids, this is a great way for them to develop self-reliance.
Right.
When they're on the dinghy, the Optimist dinghy, the tub, aka the tub, it's like they have control of the steering, they have control of the sail. So they're in full control of their destination.
Right.
And many kids today do, I think, this is my opinion, they kind of envelop in this sanitized virtual reality that they don't really have the real sensation. And that's possibly the reason why the kids love capsizing.
Right.
Because it's almost like being reborn into the real world.
Right.
So for parents out there who have kids, let them start off with the swimming lessons to get them comfortable with the water, and then get into sailing where they would be able to have full control of their destination and self-reliance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely really, really important skills to develop in young people. And it's obvious that sailing is one way to really do that.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, I mean, it's been really amazing to hear from you guys. It's obvious that sailing is alive and well, and I'm really hoping that we could continue to grow it, and to really see more people come into the activity. Parents, have your kids go out, start that love affair with the water, with the ocean, and with sailing by extension. And we could really see this thing develop. As Nick said, there's so much opportunity in sailing, and I see it all around. I see it all around in some of the other islands, and I always used to wonder, why is it so different here in St. Kitts?
King Sugar probably. Right?
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. But again, guys, everyone listening, everybody looking online, this is definitely an amazing opportunity, an amazing activity to get involved with the St. Kitts Yacht Club. Reach out to them, go to Forget Me on Saturday, see what they're all about. Perhaps, who knows, you may end up on a yacht sailing around the world sometime, somewhere. But guys, it's been a real pleasure. Any last words before we go?
Just a big thank you to everybody who supports us, and the National Olympic Committee assists us with creating these competition pathways. And thank you for this opportunity to come on here and talk about what we do.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. But guys, it's been fun. It's been real. Another episode of Island Tea. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Everybody who's been on the live, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube at WINNMedia SKN. If you're listening on the WINNMedia SKN website, also big up yourself. All the callers this morning who called in and kept me company. bless. People telling me I fed up. No, trust me, I don't get fed up at the callers. The callers them does make this thing fun, right? So continue to be a part of what's happening here. It wouldn't make any sense for us to be doing this if you guys weren't involved, and we really appreciate you guys coming here every morning, Monday to Friday between 8 and 10 to just hang out with us right here on Island Tea and WINNMedia SKN. Duke of Forget-Bear, the champagne, the Prosecco Papi is not here, and so I will have to leave you with his words of wisdom. And of course, if you do not know, I'm here to inform you that you can't be everybody's cup of tea, because you is not a mug. See you guys tomorrow.